Hey, what's up? I recently got the Sony A7 IV, and when I got the Sony A7 IV, I wanted to have lenses that are affordable and that are also interesting. And since I'm mostly into portrait and street photography, a bit of landscape, I wanted something that's good for all of those things. And for a long time, I've been thinking about 135mm lens, and unfortunately, I don't have a 135 lens for the Z mount that I can use. We have a 135 for the Nikon mount, but that doesn't go with the Z mount via the adapter. So when I got the Sony A7 IV, I got very excited to hear that Samyang was going to launch a 135mm 1.8. So here's the lens. I've got it. I've been shooting with it for about 3 weeks now. And this is a decent size, it's a pretty chunky size lens. I'll probably give you, this is the Samyang lens station, so ignore this. So the lens ends here, and it's a pretty fat and chunky looking lens, right? And if you compare this with the Nikon 50mm 1.8, look at this now, right? So you can see the difference. And this 50mm is already a pretty large lens. It's not particularly a very small lens. So the lens isn't very small. I mean, obviously it's a 135mm 1.8. It's not going to be a small lens, but it is light. It is only 772 grams, which to me is, and therefore when I hold the lens, it feels actually hollow. It feels hollow. It doesn't feel doesn't feel like a brick. And it balances quite nicely with the A7 IV. It's comfortable to hold for a long time and shoot away. And so overall, it's a good feeling holding the lens. How does the lens, the quality feel? Well, it's not very plastic or cheap, but it's not very premium either. It's a decent build somewhere in the middle. I would say the new Nikon Z mount lenses are composite of plastic bid lenses, but these are still better bid lenses than the Samyang. But for the price, it's only $1,000 US, $999 US, I think. For about $1,000 US, this is a great build quality for this price. Also, if you look at the things that you get with the lens, for example, you get 3 buttons, right? You get a focus hold button here, right here. You can see it. You get a focus hold button, then you get an autofocus to manual focus switch, and then you also get a focus range limiter, and you up till 1.5 meters. So it's quite well packed, quite well spec'd, decent specifications. The other good thing is that how the lens hood is built. Now the lens hood is quite wide. You see, it makes the lens really wide. When I'm trying to pack it in the bag, it's just easier to pack the lens without the lens hood, because when you put the lens hood on, it's wider than the lens mouth of the lens, right? It's quite a bit wider now, and when you put the lens hood on, also it becomes quite a bit longer as well. But it's a well-built, sturdy lens hood, got a rubberized tip here. This is a nice thick rubber at the front of the lens hood, so I can keep the lens like this on rough surface. I mean, I shouldn't use it on rough surfaces, but I'm just saying that you got a bit of protection, and you're sure to have a soft landing if you keep the lens like this, right? That's great. Now, that also adds to the premium touch. Despite being only $1,000 lens, this is a premium touch. Now, the focus ring on this lens is nice and smooth, but you can really move it with the finger. It's light, nice, smooth. It's got a red ring here somewhere hidden inside. Can you see the red ring? This has got I guess it's some sort of premium badging. And also, the filter size is 82mm, which is not very small. You have to use large. Now it has got 13 elements in 11 groups, which is kind of standard today. Not too complex a lens design, not too simple either. It's got decent weather sealing. It's got weather sealing at the back and the front, and also all of these buttons are covered from inside it. They're weather sealed. So this is a decently weather sealed lens as well, which is a great thing. I mean, really, I'm repeating, for the price, the kind of stuff you're getting with this Samyang is amazing, just absolutely amazing. Now I'll do a detailed review of this lens later on, but I can tell you that in my first 2 or 3 weeks of shooting with this lens, I have absolutely loved using this lens. It focuses very well with the A7 IV, and if it focuses very well with the A7 IV, it will do very well with the A1 or A7 S3 or even the A7C. At the same time, it does quite well in low light. Of course, as not as good as a 1.4 lens or a native Sony lens maybe, but quite decent. You'll not be disappointed. You'll never complain about its focusing ability. So that thing is sorted. It's quite good when it comes to focusing. I have also found that it has a little bit of macro capability, especially if you're doing video, because you can really crop in 4K and not lose 4K video quality. It almost gives you almost 200 focal length when you crop in, right? So I think if you want to create macro videos, this is great. This is good for food photography as well, because of the macro ability. It can shoot. You can bring an object as close as 0.69 meters, so 2.62 feet. Yeah, 2.26 feet. Right. So that's quite close for a 135mm lens. So overall, I'm quite happy with the lens. Initially, when I bought the lens, there was a problem, and that's a big problem. The problem was that, when I kept the lens attached to my A7 IV, it was draining batteries. For example, just fully charged battery at 100%. Next morning, it came down to somewhere around 84% or 75%, somewhere between that. And also while shooting, I thought that it ate up the battery much faster than other Sony lenses. So that was a problem, that even when the camera is switched off, it's using the camera's power, the battery power, some or the other. And I was quite scared. I thought that it's keeping the camera active in some way. It's not letting it sleep. So I was a bit nervous. I also saw Julia Totti's review on this lens, although she didn't mention this problem, but in the comment section I found a lot of people talking about it, and which matched with my experience as well. They had the same problem. Fortunately, very recently, I think a few days back only, Samyang pushed a firmware update to this, which takes care of that problem. I have updated the firmware of the lens, but in order to do that, I had to buy this Samyang lens station. You see this one, now this guy. This cost me a few more dollars, right? And in Indian currency, it's quite a bit. And I was not happy having to buy another equipment just to get the firmware updated and to get it to work the way it should have worked straight out of the box. And I thought Samyang really should have fixed this problem. They should have tested the product better and then launched the product, instead of selling quite a few copies and then realizing, oh, there's a problem, and now you have to buy the lens station to get it to work normally, which no, I'm not too happy with it. But since I bought it, I know I have a few other Samyang lenses also. Since I bought into the Sony system, well, this will come in handy in future as well if there are updates that's required for these lenses. But in any case, that was a problem. That's something that I thought I should mention. But if you buy a brand new Samyang 135 1.8 for the Sony mount cameras, I don't think you will face a problem, because the new lenses are sure to come with the updated version 2 firmware. I'm going to do a comparison of this lens with the 70-200 Nikon. Not so much in terms of quality, but just the look you get out of those two lenses, because this is a great portrait lens, and at 135mm you get decent compression, but at f1.8 you get very nice smooth and creamy bokeh smoothie. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. So if you like this initial impression of this lens, and if you want to look forward to the next full lens review, do subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and do like this video, and I'm going to see you soon with another one.